What's up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of Thomas & Friends Home Media Reviews. I don't know why I said fam. This intro's already off to a good start, isn't it? Today's episode is on spills and thrills. Hi, you thought I was going to have a skit where I said, this one's on spills and chills. Oh wait, it's spills and thrills, guys. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not predictable, okay? I don't want to be predictable. I want you guys to be surprised by my content. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the history section of spills and thrills. For those of you who don't know, I'm trying out a weird mic setup here. I have a legit desk chair now, and I can't lean back in it without the audio sounding quiet, so pray for me that this mic stand doesn't fall over. Okay, so Spills and Thrills was only released once in March of 2014, and I actually have a pretty funny story about this. Back when I got back into Thomas & Friends DVD collecting, it was back at the beginning of 2014. I had just picked up the Thomas Way in either January or February, and I was like, yeah, I kind of want to get some more DVDs. So I went to another Target for some reason. This is back before I could drive, so I guess my family was there for some reason. I picked up, I think it was Muddy Matters, what was the other one? Wobbly Wheels and Whistles, and Spills and Thrills. It was the very first day that it came out on DVD. It was March 4th, 2014. And I was one of the first in my friend group to actually get my hands on it. I remember there was a rumor going around that Spills and Thrills had Season 18 content on it, which was proven false when I popped it in my player and showed it to my friends. I was like, guys, look, it's Season 18, but they quickly corrected me and said, no, that's Season 17, because I wasn't watching the airings that were posted on YouTube regularly like I do now. So that's my story, and that's the history section on Spills and Thrills. Let's go ahead and jump right into the close-up section on Spills and Thrills. Redundancy. It's an American staple. Alrighty everyone, here's your close-up look at Spills and Thrills. Sounds very similar to Spills and Chills, one of the releases from yesteryears. 6 new never-before-seen adventures, which is kind of true. These hadn't been seen in the US at this point. They were all brand spanking new. We got Cranky up there at the top, spilling some fish off of his, like, weird pallet thing and it falling onto James. But before we get to that, you've got Spills and Thrills in a very eye-catching font right there, except it's kind of off to the side. It doesn't take up the entire half of this case. It's actually very subdued. But yeah, there's James with a bunch of fish on him, and Thomas looking very entertained by it. He's like, haha, James, screw you, man. And James is like, shut up, Thomas. I hate my life. That's your poster art. It's very engaging. Hit Entertainment logo, Thomas & Friends logo. Spills and Thrills on the side. Portrait of Thomas taken directly from this image, distributed by Lionsgate on the back. All aboard for Spills and Thrills with Thomas and his friends. Thomas, it's unrealistic, he's jumping the track. My apologies, just had a bit of a Railway Series fan freak out there. I'll try to contain my realism. Thomas jumping the rails there. Meet New Engine Porter, which is very similar to the Meet New Engine Stafford and Scruff, except it's on the back instead of the front. Your blurb about what's on the disc and such. Bonus features include Biff Bash Bosh is back! Holy crap. We saw that on Sticky Situations, which I hated that release, but the only thing that made it good was Biff Bash Bosh, and now it's back! I forgot it was on this. Oh, we get to play it again! Go-Go Thomas karaoke music video and Guess Who puzzles. Thomas & Friends, link to their website right there. Tech specs down there at the bottom. That's a slipcover. It's exactly the same underneath, except it doesn't have that little yellow bar. 6 never-before-seen adventures. You get to see more. This little part up here, you get to see that, where it was cut off by that yellow bar. Everything else is pretty much exactly the same. You even get this. Except, no, wait, there's actually something different. Meet New Engine Porter. Meet Porter. Huh. Weird thing to change. We open this up, however. We have a pamphlet about merchandise relating to Spills and Thrills with Take and Play before it was killed and rebranded as Adventures. And the Thomas Wooden Railway line. Porter, Duck, Bill and Ben with Celebration Saltine Hero Sticky Spill, and James's Fishy Delivery. That set, I kind of like that set. It's actually not terrible. It is an overglorified figure 8 set, but if I found it at like a Marshall's or a TJ Maxx, I'd probably buy it. It's nice. And Trackmaster, most people call it Trackmaster 2, which is what it technically is. So, yeah, this is when everyone was speculating, oh, what's Trackmaster 2 gonna look like? And it turned out to look like crap. Thomas Shoes. Didn't expect to see an advertisement for Thomas Shoes available at Target. Interesting. Real Big Train, Real Big Smiles. Stay Out with Thomas advertisement. Thomas Bubbles. Thomas Shirts. And books. Something I recognize. And Thomas the Tank Engine at the Little Big Club for the Hard Rock Hotel. We've seen that advertised many a time before. There's your disc, squished up version of the poster art as per usual. So that, ladies and gents, is your close-up. Let's go ahead and transition into our menu tour of Spills and Thrills. Alrighty, everybody, here's your menu tour for Spills and Thrills. And guys, before we actually jump into the menu tour, we've hit a pivotal moment in Thomas & Friends home media history. If you notice the menu, it's taking up my entire widescreen television here. That means that we have finally hit the era in which the TV series goes widescreen. It's not just the specials anymore that are widescreen. The TV series as well, if you recall. Let me just pull them out over here. They're sitting over here on the bed here. Santa's Little Engine and The Thomas Way, all of these Season 17 stories, including the ones on Railway Mischief as well, they were all full screen. However, now, with Spills and Thrills, the entire series is now being brought to widescreen in its glorious, glorious format. Thomas has finally entered the modern day. Widescreen in terms of the TV series, it only took him about, 3 years, but whatever. We've got our same 4 options here. Episode selection, what do we have? Away from the Sea, The Smelly Kipper, No More Mr. Nice Engine, Gone Fishing, Thomas's Shortcut, and The Afternoon Tea Express. I pretty much love all of those stories. Spills and Thrills is pretty nostalgic for me. It was one of the first new DVD releases that I picked up. Language selection, English, Spanish, and French. French is back for this release. If you recall, last week French was missing from the Thomas Way, and that's actually a screenshot from Wayward Winston. You can tell because her top hat looks a little disgruntled there, and Thomas is pulling rock cars when he was chasing Winston in that episode. Bonus features include Biff Bash Bosh, it's back baby, karaoke music video, Go Go Thomas, and Guess Who puzzles. We are going to play some Biff Bash Bosh, god dang it.
Player 1, it's your turn now. Looks like there is a big shipment of apples stopped on the tracks at Sodor Steamworks. When the meter you see is all the way to the top, choose Enter on your remote to go full.
Yeah, buddy, strike. Oh, I have missed this game. This is one of the best DVD games I've ever played.
Now it's Percy's turn to bash some barrels.
Alright, come on, Percy. Let's see what you can do. Oof.
6 barrels all Biff Bash Bosh right off the track.
Dude, we might actually have some competition here with Percy. Alright, we gotta wait till it goes all the way up to the top. But we might actually have some competition with Percy. I mean, geez, he biffed all of those over. Yeah, buddy.
Great work. You just biffed 6 barrels over.
It's 12-6. Here we go. He said barrel.
Biff Bash Bosh. There go 4 barrels. Knocked right over. Full steam ahead.
It's 12-10 now. Let's see if we can get an even bigger lead.
It's your turn now. Great work. You just biffed 6.
And another strike right up in here. 18-10. Let's do this.
It's Percy's turn to bash some barrels. Biff Bash Bosh. There go two barrels, knocked right over.
Oof, Percy, 12 to 18. Come on, man, you are losing.
With a total of 18 barrels.
Yep, we won.
Well done. Thomas, Biff, Bash, Bosh, the most barrels.
It was all downhill for poor Percy there. He just couldn't hang on to the lead. So that's your menu tour for Spills and Thrills. Let's go ahead and head on back and answer the 5 main questions as always. Alright, so we're back from the close-up, and now it's time to answer the 5 main questions as always. Number 1, where can you pick this product up? You cannot find this in stores. I have not seen this in stores since that fateful day back in 2014. So I would say online retailers. Number 2, is this product still being printed nowadays? Nope, it is not. Number 3, should you pick this product up? I said last week that the Thomas Way was just kind of an average release. I mean, the episodes were good, but they weren't great. I kind of feel the same way about Spills and Thrills, but I think I like it more than the Thomas Way, and maybe it's because of that nostalgic connection I have to it, being the first in the friend group to actually get my hands on it. I don't know, I feel like I like it more. I don't think that the episodes are necessarily better, but I just kind of like it more. For one thing, it actually has a slipcover, which is a lot nicer than releases that don't have slipcovers. One complaint about the slipcover, though, it's not embossed. It kind of feels a little cheap, but I still feel nice whenever I slide out my DVD to put it in the player, like I did when I watched it for this review. I also really like the poster art for this. The poster art is amazing. It's very dynamic, it flows very well, and it really catches your eye, especially with that font. I guess I should talk about Porter. Porter's interesting. He was kind of unnecessary, but also necessary as well, because how was Salty able to run the entirety of Brendam Docks all by himself? Like, seriously, he's the only engine that works at Brendam Docks? So, giving him a pal to hang out with and play off of in later seasons, that kind of works, actually. It's world building, is what I would say. Also, Harvey came back in this release, and he looks pretty good. His voice is interesting. I'd never pictured him as an Irish person, or an Irish train. Is that Irish? I think that's an Irish accent. I'm not just an engine, I'm a crane, too. Definitely Irish. Maybe he's Scottish. No, I'm sorry, peoples of other countries. I get my accents mixed up. I'm a dumb American. My apologies, but it's either Irish or Scottish. I'm leaning more towards Irish. I'll have a potato and a beer. Now it doesn't sound Irish at all. When did this suddenly morph into what's Harvey's accent? Home media reviews. What else do I want to say about Spills and Thrills here? You can tell I don't script these. I just come up with thoughts off the top of my head, which is not a very professional thing, but hey, it has worked for close to 100 episodes now, so sue me. Oh, here's something I could talk about. This features 6 stories on it, which we haven't seen in a long time. I don't count the Thomas Way having 6 because one of them's a bonus story. This has 6, and 6 is going to be the norm for the rest of Thomas's lifespan on DVD, which isn't really that long, considering that we haven't had any new DVD releases at the time of recording this, which is January of 2018. Wow, I dated this episode. How could I not mention the pivotal moment that Spills and Thrills gives us for Thomas and Friends on the DVD? Spills and Thrills is the first release to feature Thomas stories in the widescreen aspect ratio. You have no idea how much of a pet peeve it was every time I would pop in a new DVD release that I had just picked up, and it was full screen. And I'm like, yes, this was totally worth my money. 4 crappy stories that they cropped into 4x3 and slapped onto a disc and said, here you go. Yeah, that was totally worth my money. No, it was not. I'm kidding. But seriously though, Thomas and Friends in widescreen looks absolutely amazing. I love just the scope of it all, especially with Ark's animation. It was really meant to be seen in widescreen. I don't know why it took them so long to stop cropping the stories into 4x3. Did they think people still had full-screen televisions in 2014, or 2013, or 2012, or any of those past years? No, widescreen pretty much took full effect in the early 2010s. Everyone had gotten rid of their full-screen TVs by then. I'm shocked it took Thomas this long to finally get into the widescreen aspect ratio. Now, of course, this is for the series. The specials have always been in widescreen format. They have not changed their aspect ratio since the Great Discovery, which the Great Discovery, looking back on that DVD release, it looks kind of weird being in 4:3. Like, hey, it's a special, but it's the same aspect ratio as the TV series, so it's not really all that special, but it's still good. Widescreen, and that makes this release important. So yes, I'm going to recommend that you pick up Spills and Thrills, because this release is an important one. Also, the stories are pretty good, and the bonus features are also very good. It features Biff Bash Bosh, which is basically the Jesus Christ of Thomas and Friends DVD games. Number 4, where should you pick this product up? eBay. Haven't checked Amazon prices. Probably never will. You can check them for yourself, though, but I'd recommend eBay, and you're supposed to do what I tell you. And number 5, what price should you pay? Slip-covered version, $10 to $15. Automatically, slip-covers add $5 or $6 of value to a release, in my humblest opinion. Without the slipcover, though, 5, 6, 7, anything like that. Just don't overpay. That's the HMR on Spills and Thrills. Talking about it makes me want to watch it again, and that's how you know that it's a good release. When you talk about it with someone, or in my case, my YouTube audience, and it makes you want to watch it again. That's how you know it's good. So anyway, next week is the actual first Season 18 release. Season 17 basically has 3.5 of its feet in the grave, and Season 18 is just being born. Next week we're talking about Trouble on the Tracks. Not the Thomas and Friends computer game, which I have a Let's Play for. No, it's the DVD release that I pre-ordered on iTunes. I'll tell that story next week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, good night, everybody. God. I need some water. I never have water when I record these. What is wrong with me?